Hey, everybody, this is Will Stuyvesant, Regional Director with Consumer Energy Options. And again, I always like to start these calls with, or the announcements anyway, for thanking all of you that are on this call. We know at CEO that you guys are very busy. And we also find that those that are on these calls are the ones that are the consistent producers, and consistent producers typically get consistent checks. So we thank you for choosing to make your time with us at this point in time. And with that being said, natural gas, as far as natural gas is concerned, now is a great time to be selling it. It's in the colder months of the year, so people are thinking about winter and their bills going up. So now is a great time to get natural gas accounts. And in addition to that, one thing that we have that's pretty new or fairly recent with CEO is in the past 2 months we have a supplier, Direct Energy, that allows us to sign up residential accounts and get a one-time upfront fee of $10 an account. We are finding that it pays extremely fast, and this is a great way for you to be able to control your income as far as getting lumps, building, you going out and getting personal accounts and having a team that does the same thing. It's not subject to weather. Like normally in the summer months, most people don't use natural gas, so our income checks go a little bit down during that period of time, and they always go up in the winter. So at least with this, it's another great way to help get faster money and build a team that's getting faster money. In addition to that, one of the things I always ask myself just about every day is, why would somebody get involved with CEO? And the first thing that always comes to mind is there's absolutely no investment to get involved. We offer a residual income that comes from services that are unconsciously purchased, which essentially makes us recession-proof. And we also help people who are unknowingly, unnecessarily paying too much for their utility costs. Another great thing that we have with CEO is there's absolutely no cap on your income, promotions, and we absolutely have no boss. So you can work through our CEO system, promote yourself, and increase your income to whatever level that you want to increase your income to. This past year, in January of this year, we changed to a new compensation plan, and we went from getting paid essentially 4 different ways to 29 different ways. 4 of those come from personal production, 4 from your direct override management, and 21 new different ways with our new promotional guidelines. Another thing, to just put things in perspective, if you wanted to make an extra $500 a month from investing money, typically it takes about a $50,000 lump sum investment. We're finding that people with CEO, once they reach their senior consultant level, that it's very easy. It's become very easy for them to make an extra $500 a month. And the senior consultant promotion is very easy to get to. We talk about that a lot on these calls. If you're brand new, if you're just joining CEO, we recommend that you go into your back office, and right above the leaderboard there's a blue button that says Basic Training. If you click on that, there's a 26-page PowerPoint presentation. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to go through, so you should go check that out just so you can get some basics of what we do with CEO. And then in addition to that, we have our 5 for 50 program, one of which can be your own. And what is that? You go out and you get 5 energy bills. Again, one of which can be your own. And who do you talk to? Well, just talk to people that you know, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your best friend. Go get some experience. Go get those first few bills under your belt. See how easy our system is and how easy it is to get accounts. We also like to cover, who has become successful in CEO, and there's no better way to discuss that than the people that are on the leaderboard. So on our natural gas leaderboard, we have number 10, Rich Weinberg, number 9, Keith Borkowitz, number 8, Paul Weaver, number 7, Will Stuyvesant, number 6, Holly Hawkins, number 5, Richard Connor, number 4, Andrew Rieger, number 3, Bob Zabik, number 2, Arthur Wentzlaff, and number 1, John Bernard. On our electricity leaderboard, we have number 9, John Stensberg, number 8, Ed Sullivan. Tied for number 7, we have Dave Besser and Stephen B. Number 6, Terry Palmer. Number 5, Rodney Oldelson. Number 4, Joe and Michelle Z. Number 3, Keith Borkowitz. Number 2, Ken Anno. And number 1, Jerry Abera. Honor Telecom, which has been an emerging service that we've been providing with CEO, we have Joe and Michelle Z. Congratulations to you for going out and starting something that we're, getting involved with and checking the waters out for us. On our Team Edition leaderboard, we have tied for number 2, Ebony Thomas, Will Stiverson, Michael Northern, Barb Kroll, Edward Kay, Bobby Hill, Sam Calland, and Dave Besser. And number 1, we have Chosen Few Marketing. And so congratulations from CEO to all of you that are making on the leaderboard. Those that are on the leaderboard are the ones that are getting checks, guys. So figure out, look at, one thing I would say is look at some of those names on there and figure out who you want to pick off on that leaderboard, as long as it's not Will Stiverson. So anyway, with that being said, Nate, I'm going to turn it over to our National Director, Nathan Matelich. He is just a wealth of knowledge for CEO, and we are so thankful and blessed to have him with our company. And he's going to tell you guys how you can take CEO from a part-time income to a full-time business. So with that being said, it's all up to you, my man.
All right. Thanks, Will. I always enjoy your opening comments. But to everyone out there, don't be afraid to put a bullseye on Will's name. So you can, in fact, pick him off, contrary to popular belief. But the 3 things that we're going to go through today, got a couple success stories. It's December, close to Christmas time, close to the end of the year. It's just the perfect time to really review what you've been doing for the past 12 months. What's been successful, what has not been successful. So I'm going to talk a little bit about goal setting. There's a lot of people out there who don't take it seriously, but I can tell you, for a fact that all of the top producers, all of the individuals out there that have the most successful businesses in the world take goal setting very seriously. So I had a couple pointers to share, some things that I've learned kind of along the way. And then, like Will said, lastly, how can you roll that goal setting into, turning a part-time business into a full-time income? So starting with some success stories, just in the past couple of weeks, I worked with an agent, and we were able to renew a very, very large nursing home, use about 9.5 million kilowatts a year on a 2-year contract. And this nursing home, they had about 6 months or so, left on their current contract, but for electricity. But just because natural gas prices were so cheap, it was really pushing electricity prices down. We proactively went back to the client and said, hey, market forces are saying that now is a good time to look at, renewing your contract, locking in some really cheap electricity rates. And so, we were able to, lock that down for another 2 years. Just to give you an idea, 9.5 million kilowatts, it's probably about a $10,000 to $12,000 a year commission. So definitely some real nice, residual income there. We picked up a large Chicago college. Big shout out to Rodney. He came on with us just a short time ago, and he's been going after not only the small accounts, the easy wins to get on the board, but he learned that you might as well go after the really large accounts too right off the bat. And we have Rodney was able to bring on a real nice sized condo association and has many other proposals out there. And the neat thing is, like Will said in the past, you don't have to get licensed. You don't have to be an expert before you can start tackling some of these large accounts. And just because of Rodney's connections and tenacity, he's really going for it. So thanks, Rodney, for being an inspiration to everyone new and old. And then we've been seeing tons of activity just on the small residential side. It's residential accounts, phenomenal way to get promoted to senior consultant. Stephen B., he got promoted to senior consultant just on residential accounts alone. Going to be tapping into that larger commission structure now. It's a great way to learn the business, get your confidence. Direct Energy, I think it's 10 or 15 states. We have the $10 per residential home account, where that's $10 up front, one-time pay. So 5 for 50. Go out there. If Direct Energy has good rates in your states, it's a real quick way to get $50 in your pocket within the first couple months of being a CEO. And then we're also just seeing natural gas being really cheap. We have a great retention rate. When agents stay on top of their accounts, gas prices have been falling for the past 2 years, saving some clients some big money as we're looking to renew those accounts. And our clients, they come back and they thank us for renewing those accounts. And sometimes we keep them with the same supplier, sometimes we move them. The nice thing is we have the ability to put them with whoever has the best prices. So been seeing a lot of nice success stories there of people who say, you know what, I want to take my business to the next level. I want to turn a part-time income into a full-time income. And, taking advantage, the gas and electricity markets are definitely in our favors now. So those are a couple success stories. I'm going to jump into goal setting. And, I get really excited about this time of the year, not only because it's, you got Christmas and New Year's and the holidays and everything in between. But it's also a great time where in our business, sometimes between Christmas and New Year's, things start to slow down a lot. It just gives me a little time to not only enjoy the family, but really reflect on, what the heck did I do for the past 12 months? But more exciting, I get to think big and set big, hairy, audacious goals and really envision what I want to do over the course of the next year. And, the difference between people who reach and achieve stratospheric success and those who live an average, mediocre life, it's not because they're two fundamentally different people. It's just how high they set their goals, what kind of vision that they have for themselves. And a lot of it is really a self-fulfilling prophecy. One of the quotes I came across is, if you don't have goals for yourself, someone else will make you a part of theirs. And, that's so much in society today. Those who work the 9-to-5 job as employees, they don't get the luxury of thinking big and setting their own goals. Many people, show up and they punch the clock and they have to play by the goals of whoever their boss or manager is. So, I love, there's a lot of phenomenal 9-to-5 jobs out there. The vast majority of our energy consultants, have other part-time, full-time jobs. But the great thing about CEO is, even if you do have that 9-to-5 job, in our economy today, internet connectivity, social media is now people have the opportunity of having a 5-to-9 job, with consumer energy options, creating that residual income. So, don't be afraid of setting your own goals so that you don't become a part of someone else's goals. And when I talk about goals, most people say, I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to make $100,000 per year. I want to drive a brand new 2016 Mercedes car, or whatever it is. But what the vast majority of society fails to identify is what they need to do in order to get there. What do they need to do on a regular, consistent basis, and how are they going to measure their activities that are going to allow them to go from, weighing, 230 pounds down to 200 pounds, or, going from making $3,000 a month up to making $9,000 a month. And so what I really encourage everybody to do is, you want to set those big, hairy, audacious goals, but they're not going to mean anything at all until you identify the action steps that it's going to take to get there. It's everything from, how much do I want to make this year? Okay, I want to make $100,000. Okay, I'm going to take $100,000 income, I'm going to divide it by 12. What do I need to make on a monthly basis in order to, reach that goal? And then not only on a monthly basis, but then you're going to divide it by 4, and you say, what am I going to need to make on a weekly basis? And even divide it down again and say, what am I going to need to do on a daily basis? And then even reduce it down even farther and say, okay, how much do I need to make as an hourly wage in order to make my $100,000 per year? And once you figure that out, you can very easily say, okay, in order to reach my goals, maybe I need to make $50 an hour or $75 an hour or $25 an hour or whatever it is. And the nice thing is, in our basic training, it lists right there, what the average commission is on small, medium, and large gas, electricity, telecom accounts, and those sorts of things. And so then instead of having this goal of, hey, I'm just going to make I want to make $100,000 this year, but have absolutely no roadmap to get there. As soon as you break it all the way down to the smallest common denominator, and say, okay, my goal in order to reach that, what I need to do is sign up one medium-sized natural gas or electricity account every single day. And if I do that, then I'll be able to reach my goal of making, $100,000 per year. Or, if, hopefully many people have a well-balanced life. If someone wants to lose, 30 pounds, they say, no one's just going to say, okay, I'm going to lose 30 pounds this year and do the exact same thing as what they've done the whole year prior. What they're going to have to do is they're going to have to say, okay, if I want to lose 30 pounds in a year, there's about 52 weeks in a year. That means that I need to lose about, a half a pound or a pound every week. Okay, what do I need to do that? And then start breaking it down of, well, I'm going to go to the gym, 5 times a week. And I'm going to, instead of shopping, getting food at McDonald's, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to only shop at Whole Foods or an all-natural grocery store, or, I'm going to commit to eating, 50% of everything that I eat is going to be, lettuce and greens and broccoli and peas or, whatever it might be. And so, I personally have a lot of fun this time of year because I kind of look back and I see, okay, did I achieve some of the goals that I set out to achieve? Why did I achieve some? Why did I miss, some of the others? And what I look at is I say, okay, based off of where I am today versus where I want to be. And a lot of people think that they need to start doing more things, and then they say, oh, I don't have enough time to do these extra things to reach my goals. But in fact, sometimes some of the more powerful things to do are choose 3 things that you should stop doing, starting now or January 1st or whenever you want to start working towards your goals. This could be anything from, if your goal is to lose 30 pounds, it could be to stop eating at McDonald's, period, to end. If it's to make $100,000 a year, it's to identify who you have been spending the most time with this year, and if spending time with them has been a negative force on your personal career. Maybe they're a time suck and they don't give you back any value. Maybe they're always talking negatively. Maybe they don't have the connections that to these small or to these medium-sized business owners that you need to get in touch with in order to reach your goal of making $100,000 per year. And so as you're thinking about your goals, write down the 3 things that you're going to stop doing. And then once you do that, you can go back in and you can add in the 3 things that you're going to start doing. And I know for myself personally, in order for me to reach my goals, I need to do a couple different things. One, I need to, every other week I need to get on this conference call and I need to, come up with some decent material to help people go out there, get excited about the business and sign up new accounts. I know that I personally need to go to at least a couple different networking groups every single week so that I can meet other business owners or other individuals who are looking for part-time income. I know that I need to set weekly reminders that that every single week I'm going to do simple things like put something up on Facebook or LinkedIn to keep people thinking about me, keep me in the front of their mind in case they need my services. I have reminders for sending out handwritten thank you notes to set myself apart from everyone else out there. As I go through my meetings, I have different reminders to do email marketing so that I can keep in touch with past clients once a month. And so it's all of these little things in setting up not only goals, but I call it a success system. You could call it a marketing system. You could call it whatever. You could call it a goal-achieving system. It doesn't matter what you call it, but as soon as you set those big, hairy, audacious goals and reduce it all the way down to what you need to do every single day or one day a week or one day a month or only on the weekdays, that is when kind of the rubber meets the road and someone is able to go out there and to achieve their goals. And probably one of the most exciting goals that I achieved this year was back 4 or 5 years ago when I started with Consumer Energy Options, and we were just starting out as a fledgling little company. One of my goals was, hey, I eventually want to move from Chicago back to Montana. I need to find a business that I can get involved in because in spring of 2015, I want a large enough residual income so that I can pick up my family, move to Montana, still maintain all of my clients, all of my residual income, and yet be closer to, my parents, my wife's parents, my kids' grandparents, that sort of thing. And the funny thing is that even though I set that goal, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, and I actually picked spring of 2015, this year, it was March 12th of 2015 that all the pieces fell into place, and we were able to move out here and keep doing great things with Consumer Energy Options. So, don't be afraid to have a big goal. Don't be afraid to set that goal out a couple of years. The key to goals is not just to set it and forget it, but have it right in front of you at all times. Every morning, I review my goals. I do some reading. I do some personal development stuff that really helps me kick off my day. Some people, if they have a really big goal, they write it on a sticky note and attach it to their mirror. So every morning when they get up, they're looking at their goals. They look at it before they go to bed at night. And as much as this sounds to some people, it sounds corny, you can go and pick up any book under the sun that is a biography of some very successful business owners or leadership coaches or whatnot, and they'll all tell you that not only goal setting but figuring out what you need to do on a daily basis to be successful is very powerful. And then the last thing that I wanted to touch on as we're talking about goals is some people have heard about it, some have not. There's something called the 80-20 rule. And it kind of applies to finding the 3 things that you're going to stop doing. Because the 80-20 rule says that 80% of your income is going to come from 20% of your activities. And so if you look at that, everyone should take a good, hard, long look and say, okay, who am I spending my time with? I am, studies show that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, and or that your net worth is an average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So take a look. Who are you spending the most time with? Which people should you stop spending time with, so that you can spend time with other individuals that are going to help you reach your goals and things like that. I'm an entrepreneur to the max. My dad's a retired physician. My mom's a retired lawyer. They always kind of said, go to school, get a good education, get a good job, stay with that job for the rest of your life. They'll take care of you. They'll provide you with a retirement. I, on the other hand, am an entrepreneur to the max, and I have much different ideas and much larger goals of what I want to do, and the fact that I want residual income instead of hourly income. And so, while I love my parents and, try to talk to them on, a regular basis, like any son, when it comes to business and goals and where I'm going and things like that, I don't talk to them as much about those things. I go out and find other entrepreneurs and successful business owners, and those are the people that I'm talking to about my goals, about my success plans, because they're going to help me play at a higher level. So, figuring out, okay, who do you want to, surround yourself with, in your business, out of your business, and focus on the 20% that's going to give you provide you 80% of your income or your results, and then go out there and you got the other 80% of people that you interact with on a regular basis. Replace those people with, or don't spend as much time with those individuals, and find more like the 20% of people that are really helping you in your career. And sometimes this is a slow or tough process, but always be thinking, what 20% of people am I connecting with, or what 20% of activities am I taking on a daily basis that produce the majority of my results, and how can I do more of those? That's all for goal setting. If anyone wants to, talk to me more about that sort of thing, feel free to give me a call, drop me an email. And then the last part that I want to talk today is, okay, you set these goals, you put together a daily, weekly action plan, boiling it all the way down to what you need to do. Now, how can we ensure that the rubber meets the road, and that if your goal is to make $50,000, $100,000, whatever, $200,000 with consumer energy options, how do you turn those daily activities into full-time pay with us? The 2 things that immediately come to my mind, and so some people might get a little bit annoyed by this comment, but I've just found that patience and consistency are extremely important. You have to be patient enough, and dedication, of course, but you have to be patient and dedicated enough of doing these small daily actions over the course of a really long time in order to see the benefit. And consistency is going to be wildly important because, the number one reason why I see people being success in this business is because of their consistent activity. The reverse of that is the number one reason why I see people come in, do a couple things, make a little money, and then drop off because they're frustrated they didn't reach their goals, was because of their inconsistency. And so, when I first got in this business, I told my wife, I said, hey, Heidi, it's not a matter of if I'm going to make money and make good money, and we're going to be able to move from Chicago to Montana or wherever we want to move in the United States. It's not a matter of if. It's only a matter of when, because we have a great product. We have very high retention. We're saving people money. We're making money. It's the perfect win-win situation. And so, it took me about four-ish years to do it. And if I wouldn't have had the patience all along the way, and more importantly, if I didn't have the consistent actions, the little ones that helped me reach my goals, we probably would have still, been in Chicago and not had the freedom to do a lot of what we're doing today. And with that, you can't always control your client's actions. You can't always control your client's decisions, but you can always control what your attitude is, how many people you're talking to on a regular basis, how many actions you're taking, how many phone calls you're making. And so instead of getting frustrated and say, oh, poor me, the world is conspiring against me, no one's signing my contract, no one's signing up to save money with us, no one's sending me their bills, the real winners and the real producers, flip that around and say, while I can't control my client's actions, I can control my actions, and I just need to, connect with, twice as many people, send out twice as many savings proposals, send out twice as many contracts, go to twice as many networking groups, and they're the ones that, determine their destination. And the people who take that kind of responsibility for their future, those are the ones that turn the part-time income into full-time pay. A week, 2 or 4 weeks ago, I forget what it was, but I was talking about a book that I was reading that talks about taking 10 times the amount of action as the average individual out there. And it's just through that action, and ultimately doing what others are unwilling to do that this individual said this author said you can set yourself apart from the rest of the people. And so, you run into so many people these days that they're one skill short of success. They're kind of stuck in a rut or living kind of an average life, and they want more. In order to reach your big, hairy, audacious goals, you just have to be willing to do what others are unwilling to do. And it's not anything really big. It's kind of going back to what I said before. It's taking small, specific, consistent action on a daily, weekly basis. And it just so happened to take me 4 years to reach, one of my biggest goals. So anyone you talk to, there's no such thing as an overnight success. As much as it seems like, it's all about doing what others are unwilling to do. And then probably the people that I find are the most successful at turning a part-time pay into full-time income are those who get out and network. And the fact of the matter is 95% of the work is just showing up to a networking group, a coffee club, a chamber of commerce, a Rotary club, a business after hours, chamber of commerce event. And the other day I was talking to Will Stuyvesant, and he said that he goes to 99.9% of all of the chamber of commerce events in his town. And so just by everyone seeing him, how involved he is, and seeing him at all these events, supporting other business owners, Will was saying that when he turned around and asked lots of these business owners to support his consumer energy options business, they sent him a copy of their utility bills, for an analysis or to see if Will could, save him some money. They did not hesitate to send Will copies of those utility bills because in the same way that Will has been doing a phenomenal job at supporting his community and networking and getting out there, because they knew him and because they kind of saw the type of character that Will had, it was very, very easy for them to send Will copies of their utility bills. So with that, that's pretty much all I have for today. The last thing that I will say is one action that you can take every single week that will pay dividends over time is, invite a couple people onto the Consumer Energy Options conference call today, or if maybe you're listening to this via recording, every week when you get that recording, forward it via email to 3 of your buddies and say, hey, just want to let you know what I'm getting involved in. Check it out and let me know what some of your thoughts are. So I don't think we lost go ahead and open it up to questions.
Yeah, I think it's an
so if anyone has any questions or comments, go ahead and share that with us now.
Hey, Nathan, this is Joe from Illinois now, calling from Florida. We just moved in the last 3 months, so, setting those goals is such a key priority. My wife and I, Michelle, are working on a book called the 12-Week Year, and it sort of ramps up like having 4 years in 1 year, because if you study corporations, their most productive quarter is that fourth quarter because of deadlines, commitments, and activation to reach those goals. So it makes more sense to condense your goals into a shorter period of time and then check the progression. We made our move to Florida in a 3-month period. We always talked about moving to Florida, but when it came down to crunch time, it was a 3-month period that we made it happen. So shorter goals, let's look at 4 years within one with the 12-week year approach, the book we're working on. Thank you, Nathan.
Absolutely, Joe. One of the experiences I always think about is, I've bought and sold some real estate, over the years, and one thing that realtors do a really good job at is setting deadlines. They say, okay, my client is going to offer $250,000 for this house, and you have until noon tomorrow to decide whether you want to accept this offer. And just because they set a deadline or set, that's attached to that goal of buying this house, people make very quick decisions as to whether they want to accept that offer, counter that offer, just because there's that deadline. If it goes past that deadline, sure, would the people, probably still want to buy the house? Oftentimes, yes. But, it's just goals, deadlines, and I like that comment, Joe. If you can condense everything
that's not bad up under there. Actually,
a 3-week year, or a 3-month 3-month year, that's a great way to go. Are there any other questions or comments?
Hey, Nate, it's Will.
Hey, Will.
Hey, buddy, I got a quick question for you. Do you think that your goal of moving in the spring of 2015 would have happened much sooner because of our new comp plan if you would have had that 4 years ago?
I would say yes, and my response is twofold. One is goals, as long as you're diligently working towards them, are a self-fulfilling prophecy. The other thing is that if I would have set a goal of moving in summer of 2014, the universe is a funny thing. There's something called the law of attraction, where the more you want something, think about it, take action towards it, the more likely the universe is gonna give it to you. And I worked with Matt Hirschenberger and a bunch of other people to help put together the new compensation plan and kind of get it rolled out, and gave it my 2 cents. And I mean, if I would have had the goal of moving to Montana in summer of 2014, would I maybe have, worked a little bit harder, towards with a couple other individuals to get the new comp plan done, finalized, roll out, encourage, Rich to get it integrated with our back office a little sooner? I think that the answer could very well be yes. But the other thing is that I also know for a fact that while it took me 4 years to reach my goal, now with this new compensation plan, there's no reason why, if I did it all over again, there's no reason why I couldn't have reached it in half the amount of time, in a year and a half or 2 years instead of 4 years, just based off of the ability to get paid in a lot more, in different ways, and some of the systems we have in place now that, weren't in place for the first, 3.5 years that I was working towards my goals. So I think the comp plan is a huge asset to all people who are setting big, hairy, audacious goals for 2016.
Thanks, Nate. I appreciate it, buddy.
Oh. Any other questions? All right, well, we'll wrap it up for today. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email address is Nathan, Nathan, at ceo-energy.com. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully you got your sights set high and some big goals for 2016. Have a great day. See you at the top.